And welcome back to more Shantae, Risky's Revenge. So last time, we went around the world collecting a lot of different items, such as our second dance, power-ups for both the elephant dance and monkey dance, and the ingredients for the latte. And before we head to the boathouse to deliver the coffee to Ryditops' brothers, we are gonna make a quick stop at Barren Desert once again. We can actually skip that cave this time by just using Monkey Bullet to cross the gap. And over here should be the other cave entrance that takes us to the lower part of Barren Desert. But we actually don't want to take this path. Instead, we want to actually cling to the wall to the left here, time our jump very carefully, or a Monkey Bullet very carefully, and make it over to this treasure chest. Of course, it's another magic jam. And we're gonna jump straight down to reset back to the beginning of the screen. So with that magic jam in hand, we're gonna make our way back over to Scuttletown and make our way to the boathouse. As a warning, the trip to the boathouse is, in my opinion, one of the toughest parts of the game, actually. So if you have a lot of gems and magic jam that you haven't spent yet, definitely consider doing so now. I would almost go as far to say that you should probably grind, but at this point I only have 2 magic jams, so I can't really even buy too much to begin with. One thing I dislike about Shantae games is there's actually a cap for gems. It's 999. Problem is, if you want to farm, you actually need more than that to actually buy everything. So for example, if I went to farm for gems and got 999, that would not be enough to buy everything, and then I'd have to go back to a grinding spot and get the remaining like 300 to 500 gems that I would need. Either way, be very prepared for this next area. It's no joke. So past here, with the elephant dance, we can now break this and make it to Mermaid Cliffs. The mermaids have 2 attacks, shooting a bubble straight forward or releasing hearts upwards, and both attacks are really annoying. If you try to jump over the mermaid and it does the heart attack, you'll take damage. If you try to attack it straight on and it shoots a bubble, then you'll also take damage, and for me, I have a really hard time dodging both attacks. The screen is really weird, because sometimes there's a lot of scarecrows, and other times there's like 1. That was a screen with a lot of scarecrows for some reason, but I've also seen more slimes instead. We're getting lucky on heart drops, which is great. I'm worried about what's coming up in this next screen in particular. By the way, that's the next dungeon, except we can't get in there yet. So this is like the worst screen, because it is extraordinarily long. There's no water under here, so if we fall, we get sent back to the beginning. And it's just generally a pain. There's a lot of places to fall and then have to go back and do it all over again. So be careful. I would almost recommend taking damage over falling, just for the sake of time at this point, because then if you have to redo it, then you'll have more opportunities to take damage. By the way, the mermaids also drop, that's the wrong item. The mermaids drop 5 gems every time, it seems. So if you want to farm, you can do it here. Honestly, because of the difficulty of this area, I would not really recommend farming here. I would recommend finding an easier spot, especially since one is in the next dungeon, actually. Luckily, with our faster whipping speed, we should be able to take out most of the enemies, no problem. For example, if you actually start attacking as the mermaid's coming up, you should actually be able to finish it off before it even gets off an attack, which is great. I'm pretty sure we're like 3/4 of the way through the screen, just to show how long this is. It's no joke. Actually, I think this is about the end. Imagine getting to that pit there and falling, and then having to do everything over again. Huh? What's that? Yawn, is it morning already? Okay, time to clock in. Warp squids are on the job. So that's another warp. If you had like 250 gems at this point, or 300 for the Mega Pike Ball, I would definitely recommend going back to town and buying a bunch of stuff, to also minimize having to grind twice. But over here is the boathouse. Look who's back. Wasn't sure you'd keep your end of the deal. Whatever, here's your lousy drink. A latte? That's a chick's drink. Well, you remembered Poe's egg anyway, so at least he'll shed his gab. It smells wonderful. You can't tell where the foam ends and the scrambled eggs begin. Ah. So anyways, here's the ticket to getting into the Hypno Baron's joint. You got plastic explosive. Oh boy, it's a blob. What am I supposed to do, sculpt my way in? It ain't clay. That there was enough plastic explosive to blast his wimpy door into next week. All you need now is a detonator. I don't even know what that is. Just stick this wad to the Baron's door, hit it with an electrical spark, and stand back for the fireworks. This had better work. So, we need an electrical spark. By the way, I like how they just reuse the chef's house for the boathouse. We need an electrical spark. And if you do not have the Storm Cloud item, go back and buy it. There's a warp point right over here. Definitely remember to do this because you need this to get into the next dungeon. So, with the plastic explosive in hand, now we have the fun task of actually backtracking all the way through the screen once again. Now, as difficult as the screen tends to be, I, for some reason, tend to find it more difficult to go backwards. Maybe it's because of just muscle memory of doing it left to right, and then having to do it right to left immediately after is just kind of disorienting for me. But for some reason, I always have more trouble going this way than the first time through. Maybe the enemy patterns are worse too. I'm not actually sure if anything really changes there. So we really don't need to fight enemies here. I'm doing it anyway because if we can get a few gems, that can never hurt. Kind of jump down before they can attack. So I am gonna use Fireball here, just to be very careful. Swap back. I'm sure on DS you could actually switch using like the touchscreen or something. I'm actually not sure on that, not having ever played that version. I don't know how that version uses the touchscreen. I know Pirate's Curse definitely uses the touchscreen for like map and inventory information, which I've actually heard some people say the Wii U version is inferior because of this. Because some people find it really disorienting having to look down on the gamepad to actually just access your map or inventory. I can definitely see that as a problem as someone who definitely struggles with that kind of gameplay in a lot of games. There's a reason I was never able to finish the wonderful 101 originally. Maybe I should give it another shot now that it's on other consoles. Either way, we're back to the dungeon entrance. This is the place. Stick the plastic explosive here. That does it. All I need now is a bolt of energy. So swap over to the little storm cloud, use it, and stand back. And with that, the way is open. And welcome to Hypno Tower. If you thought the last level wasn't hard enough, don't worry, Hypno Tower is definitely a challenge. So our gimmick is we have that eye, and depending on what direction the eye is looking, the layout of the dungeon changes. So we have to start out with it pointing downwards to access this room over here. So there's a treasure chest up there. I'm gonna use Monkey Bullet to get over there. Never mind, that doesn't actually work. So I guess we just need to ignore that treasure chest for later. And I guess we're gonna drop down here. Nice, you got a key. Alright, so there's some hidden jars over here. I feel like they realized, oh wow, you need a lot of money. So in this dungeon in particular, they give you a lot of money, thankfully. Typically, a good strategy for getting money is to basically find a room with a lot of money and close to a save point, and then just kind of reload that save point, and then collect the money, save, repeat. I'll go over that a little bit more in detail in a bit, but for now, here's where that key goes. So we have a bunch of skeletons that move really fast. I should probably heal. Never mind, they stay on their respective tile, not title. So we actually should be fine as long as they stay still. And if they're also attacking, it seems like we have a good opportunity. And it looks like even when they revive, the door still stays open, thankfully. So thank you for the hearts. And over here are a bunch of like wizard enemies who take a lot of damage apparently. And we have another locked door. And let's see, an upper path too. Looks like another upper path. Ow. That was unexpected. I didn't see how much damage that did. I probably should pay attention. That was like a heart. That's not great. So it looks like the next door is here. Alright, so with the monkey, we can now climb up here. This is scary. Because of the skeleton's movement patterns kind of speeding up and slowing down. That's a little bit intimidating to get past with the monkey form, which can't really attack back. Also, don't want to run into the spikes for obvious reasons, so I'm being a little bit careful here. So, I'm not entirely sure which direction we can go. We need to go either, right or left, and basically the gimmick, is there are two eyes. And I'm pretty sure both eyes need to be open, or just one. Either way, let's head inside and see what awaits us. Looks like more enemies, cool. I actually don't know if we need to fight these enemies. I might pass on that, if I can. I'm at 1 health, so I'm definitely gonna stop and heal. Luckily, time stops when you're healing, so you don't have to worry about getting like clipped by an attack while healing. And we have another wizard and a locked door, so obviously we need to fight. That's a lot of slimes. I'm not even sure what defeated those enemies, I'm gonna be honest. And with that, we have another key. Nothing left to do here, so I guess we need to backtrack a little bit. This is why I feel like having the upgraded pike ball would be really nice, because it would make getting through these rooms a lot easier, and a little bit less scary, with minimal ability to take damage. So now we need to actually... oh, that's kind of a problem. The pike ball can actually hit the switches. This is a bad position for the skeletons to be in, because we can actually run into it as we're jumping up here. We need to close both eyes, and now we need to go back to the east door, if I remember right, to see what's changed. Alright, we have a bunch of treasure, it looks like. So that's worthwhile, as we definitely need a lot more of it. So... this still isn't the room, by the way, to get a lot of gems quickly, because there's not really a save point too close by, I find, to like reload. Also, I think it's like jars that reset, not treasure. So, now, where do we go? I think we need to actually drop back down, if I'm remembering right. I think we need to go back down. So... or we need to go through the other door? I'm actually not entirely sure here. It's been a while. This is like the toughest dungeon. By the way, there's actually a speedrun achievement for this. Basically, if we're doing it in like under 40 minutes or something. That's not too bad, really. But it definitely would require a guide, I think, because In comparison to Squid Baron's lair, this is a long dungeon. So I think we need to go here, actually. So we have one of these blocks that we can break with the elephant. I'm just gonna take the hit there and blast through. And now we can get through here with our key. Well, this looks scary. Definitely gonna grab the heart. Grab this one there, jump across, then monkey bullet, jump down. Yeah, that's not exactly the easiest thing to do. Here's a save room, and I'm pretty sure this is actually close to where the farming spot is. So I'm pretty sure to actually farm for gems, what you want to do is ride this platform up, and then set the eyes a specific way. I want to say it's like this and that, and then go through. It's either up and down or down or up. So either way, you get a lot of gems. I think it's actually the other way to actually... Oh, that actually does work. Got a magic gem here. And basically the recommended strategy is to go back to the save room, save, quit out, reload the game to reset all the treasure chests, and then, basically, rinse and repeat until you have the amount of gems you want. Either way, this is kind of an interesting little puzzle here. If I'm remembering right, basically the goal of this is to get a bunch of keys for something coming up later, like so, and then navigating a series of little challenges. It's kind of a neat idea, but also not the easiest thing to figure out, I would imagine, hence the time challenge there, because I imagine this would be a little bit difficult without a guide to do this efficiently. So we need this one to go right, it looks like. And we're gonna jump over here and wait till that goes back up, and now we're good to go. Alright, so ride this back up to the main room, like so. And with that, now we need to figure out what direction they need to go next. So I think the next pattern is this, kind of like looking away from each other. And now we have a little bit of a puzzle room. Actually, we need to do something different. We actually, I think, need to have them facing, I actually don't remember. It's been a while. That room, we actually need to get a combination somewhere else. So we can't do that yet. This room is scary. There was very much a temptation to do this next time, actually. Just call it here, go back and save. Also, maybe I should stop and farm for gems here, since we kind of reached a decent stopping point. And then continue on with this in the next part. So yeah, I'm gonna save here. I might not grind until a little bit later to see how many gems I actually have by the end of this dungeon, but either way, we're gonna wrap things up here for now, so thank you for watching, and I hope you'll join me next time for more Shantae, Risky's Revenge.